breakups are hard. But what happens when the relationship ends and the connection doesn't completely disappear? Maybe you guys share a home. Maybe you guys share a child together. Maybe you share a friend group, a business, or years of memories that just don't go away that easy. Tonight on the Remedy Podcast, we're talking about coexisting after a breakup. How do you heal while still seeing that person? How do you create boundaries when emotions are still raw? And how do you move forward without turning your life into a battlefield? I've been there. I've done it. Trust me, it was not easy. Because the truth is, sometimes healing doesn't happen with distance. Sometimes healing happens right in the middle of the shared space, shared responsibilities, and unfinished emotions. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody had a great week last week. Happy St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, so happy St. Patty's Day. I'm not having my corned beef and cabbage this year. It is okay. I will have chicken and rice. Close enough. But yeah, last week for me was an interesting week. I think I just did the episode about knowing when it's time to shift, knowing when God is calling you to be higher. And I and a few of my other coworkers we had a breakdown. We broke down. I broke down last week. It was hard. It was very tough. I'm very transparent with y'all. I was not okay. I wasn't in the least bit. I was not okay. My body, I had a tension headache from Sunday to Thursday. I went to go see my parents. I stayed up in CT where they're at, and I felt so much better when I was up there. The tension just went away. The headache went away. The back pain went away. The anxiety went away. I just felt so much more relaxed. And on my drive back down to my home, I cried. I listened to gospel music. I was talking to God, asking him, like, why is this happening right now? Like, this is not how I pictured it. And again, this could possibly just be God's way of just saying, like, I know everything is shifting for you the way that you wanted it to shift, and I'm doing it in your favor, but you just have to have patience to know that I have this under control. But it's so difficult to do that when here we are faced with another shutdown after 3 months of recovering, sorta, barely. I can't even say we recovered because we didn't. And that's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand. Because everyone who has a job, everyone who has money coming in, whether it's 2 jobs, 3 jobs that you have, when money stops coming in, you can't understand it. Even if, let's say, we all had 2 jobs, we all had our own business. Let's say everybody did have that. That still puts us short from what we were, from what we had. We had 2 incomes coming in. Now we only have 1. It still doesn't add up. If 1 income is taken from you, one of your businesses stop making money, you're going to feel away. You're going to think, like, what happened? So I think it's very unfair for people to not be sympathetic, empathetic, understanding to what is going on. And that this is messing with people's livelihoods. And this is messing with their bills, what they can and cannot do, what they can afford, their children, their homes, their rent, their mortgage, their gas, food on the table. Like, it's a ripple effect. If you have any common sense, you would understand that. But again, I can't speak too much on it because, yeah. But understand, I guess, what's today? Today was day 33, 34. I don't even fucking know anyway. It's just too long. It's just too long. But nonetheless, So tonight's episode is coexisting after a breakup when love ends, but life still overlaps. Life still continues. And I speak on this episode with true transparency because this has happened to me, and I've noticed that it's starting to happen with a lot of people who I know. Not because the summertime is coming, so let's not go there. But because a lot of women are starting to see what they want, wanting to make sure that they date with a purpose, wanting to make sure that they're with somebody who's going to not only financially provide, but also emotionally provide for them, who is emotionally intelligent and in tune with what they have and who they have to be as a man. And if you're not there yet, that is okay, but you need to be by yourself and you need to figure that out for yourself before you can get into a relationship. But I say that also to say that I was coexisting with my ex, and this is the ex that was this is my recent ex, 3-4 years ago ex. I told you guys the story. If you listened to any of the episodes prior when I did bring up our situation, then you know. And if you know me, then you also know this situation as well. But basically, I found out that he had cheated on me. This was 2 years after we were together. He had cheated on me twice, 2 different women. Dumbass left the evidence in his phone. I am better than the CIA myself. I take pride in that. I will find anything out that you think that you can hide. And I found out. And not only did I find out because, I wanted to be snoopy or I wanted to be sneaky if any man thinks that that's what I did. No. My intuition, and yes, you men may think that it's not a real thing, but of course you're going to say it's not a real thing because you don't have it. So you can't compete where you can't compare, okay? That's one. 2, my intuition was telling me that there was something wrong, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I was like, girl, you overthinking. Girl, it's not that serious. No, he ain't doing nothing. Like, that man love you. He care about you. We always doing this and we always doing that. And it just kept coming up. That feeling just kept coming up. And I stopped ignoring it and I dove into it to see what the problem was. And that's when I found out. So I think we broke up around... I want to say we broke up around April. April or so was when we broke up. April, May, June, July. Yeah, so I found out probably around March or so, because I remember it was starting to get a little warmer. We coexisted with each other for 2 months, so April and May, and then by my birthday, he was out the house. He found himself a new spot. And July is when I had moved out and now living in the place that I currently live in now. So we coexisted for 2 months after we officially broke up. And I broke up with him. So let's just put that out there. But I broke up with him. Basically I had mentally checked out a long time ago. But this was just the nail in the coffin for me to say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this no more because clearly you don't respect me. And I respect myself too much to let somebody run over me and think that you're going to cheat on me and I'm going to stay. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And it also was just another sign to me to, I guess, a validation for me to say that, Michelle, you can't handle or be with anybody that cheats on you. And that was always a boundary for me, but I was also very much so feeling as if I could probably work it out with him. Those 2 months, I was like, maybe I can forgive him. Maybe I can see what could happen. I want to say it was those 2 months. I could be wrong. Maybe I found out in March. And maybe I stayed longer. I stayed for 3 months until we finally broke up. But I do remember it was around when the weather was starting to get warmer when we did officially break up. Nonetheless, we did live with each other for a little while until, again, like I said, he moved out. So how do we get past that? For those of you who are dealing with it right now, any men who are dealing with that right now, any women who are dealing with that right now, how do we get past it? How do we accept the reality of where the relationship has gone? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years have gone by, all these memories, everything that we created. And now here we are living in a home together. The economy is shit. So it does make sense for us to stay together, but we don't want to stay together. We have children, but we're separated. I want to hold on. I think I can change. I think I can accept him or her for what they did differently, or for what they have done to cause me to feel this way, that I don't want to be with them anymore. But the other part of me is like, no, I want my freedom. I want to be to myself. How do we accept all of that? How do we adjust with all of that? Well, we're going to talk about it. So first things first, accepting the reality. Breakups often come with anger. I mean, all the time. They come with anger. They come with resentment. They come with hurt. And there is no way getting around that. You've put in your mind what this relationship was supposed to be. You took the time, your body, investing in this person, thinking that they were probably going to be your husband, they were probably going to be your wife, and then reality hit. Things changed. Sometimes life got in the way. The differences happen. And there was no real way for you guys to get past it. And let's be honest, sometimes people outgrow each other. You may want one thing, somebody else may want something else. And then your paths no longer align. Now, do I always say that y'all should just break up and call it and that's it? No. Unless it's something super, 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 super detrimental that you cannot let go of, then that's different. But if you feel like, okay, well, I've invested time, I've put into 3, 4, 5, 10 years into this relationship, into this marriage, whatever it may be, let's try to get some help to see what happens. See if there is a way to fix it. But if you've tried, if you've talked to other people, if you've gotten counseling, if you've probably separated but didn't get a divorce, or separated and still remain girlfriend and boyfriend, which I don't understand, nor do I do. There's no such thing as a separation. We're on a break. What the fuck are you talking about? Either we're together or we're not. This is not a marriage. You can do that in a marriage where you can still be married and you guys are separated until you figure out what's going on. But in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, what is that? What is that? We're not doing that. Absolutely not. The other thing is, coexisting often leads to conflict, and that keeps you emotionally stuck. Because, let's be honest, the emotions are still there. Whether it's physical, it's mental, all of it is there. You're having to see this person. You're having to reminisce on all the good times. Where did it go wrong? That's what you're going to constantly ask yourself. What did I do wrong? Had I had done this better, would he had done this? Or would she had not done that if I would have done this? You're going to constantly be playing back over and over and over every situation that may have caused you to say, okay, this is it. This is over. We're done. And it's going to be hard. You're going to argue a lot. I swear, me and this man, we argued in a week. We argued 3 to 4 times, sometimes twice. And it doesn't necessarily, when I say an argument, it doesn't necessarily mean that we were having a yelling match. We were just really just going butting heads with each other. And I was on some, and this is how I knew I could not deal with anybody who cheated on me and I could not stay. I was constantly, what are you doing? Like, I was constantly asking, what are you doing? Where are you going? Who's going to be there? I don't trust you. No, you're not going. If you go, then you can stay out, because don't come back. That was what was being said, because I no longer had the trust for you no more. It was no longer about, I couldn't trust you going anywhere because you broke that already. And that is something similar when it comes to, if it's a cheating situation, if it's a situation on finances. Why are you spending more money? This is the problem. This is why we're breaking up now, because you just love to spend money. Every weekend you're going out. You're always going shopping. You're always buying something this. You're always doing that. You're just spending and not having no regard for the house. That could also be a reason why people break up. It's so many things, so many reasons. Not doing enough in the house. You feel like you're the maid, whether it's a man or a woman, either one. I'm not saying it's to one specific gender, but if it resonates, then it's for you. The other thing that happens is the shift from the romantic partner to the respectful human that is living with you. That is the difficult shift, but also the what is it? The line in the sand that has to be drawn from the beginning. Whether that's you're staying in the bedroom and they're staying in the living room, or vice versa. Or if you guys have 2 bedrooms, one's in one bedroom, one's in the other bedroom. Because now you have to, again, accept what it is. The reality is you two are no longer together. You two are going your separate ways. And until, whether the lease is up, or until you figure out where you're going to stay, or I figure out where I'm going to stay, we have to respect each other as if we're just friends, as if we're roommates. They literally become your roommate. They literally become somebody who was your friend at one point, and now, is now back to just being your friend. There is no romance behind it. On top of there's no romance behind it, please stop fucking your ex. Just stop having sex with your ex if you know it's over. You are continuing to hold on to this emotional tie, this soul tie with this person. And then you're wondering why you and him or you and her are going back and forth, butting heads the way you're butting heads. Oh, but Michelle, makeup sex is yeah, I know that. Makeup sex would be the bomb. But it's the bomb when y'all are still together and y'all had an argument. Not when y'all done said y'all broke up and that's it, y'all done with each other and then y'all still fucking each other. No. This is your time to be celibate. The fuck is you doing? Stay to yourself. Respect each other enough to say, we're still living in the same house. I'm not going to bring anybody new in here. And no, I'm not going to stay out all hours of the night because, yes, I am not with this person, but that does not mean anything. You know what I mean? You also have to stop trying to win the breakup. Oh, well, I broke up with you first. Oh, no, you broke up with me first. Okay, but you did this, so I did that. Stop trying to be the bigger person in this situation as far as who did what and who came to who first about why we're breaking up. It is what it is. You ain't got to prove shit to nobody. If you left them because they did you wrong, then so be it. It is what it is. Oh, but they're going to run my name through the mud and they're going to say this. So let them. Let them run. I know the truth. You know the truth. But you want to sit here and it makes you feel better about yourself. You feel like you the man, you the woman, you that person that you're not in this situation. Then go ahead, let them. Because at the end of the day, again, we know what really happened. Stop replaying who was right and who was wrong. Because no one knows who was right. No one knows who was wrong except for you two. You don't have to sit here again and have an audience. You have to tell people who was right and who was wrong. You don't have to do none of that. Focus on the peace. Focus over healing. Focus on moving on. Focus on just letting it go over pride. And do not drag this person through the mud. Leave it alone. It ended. You told your little circle. You told your homies. Call it and let it be. Don't bring that shit onto the internet. Don't ask anybody no questions. Don't go trying to... Don't do none of that weird head ass shit. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Again, I'm not saying you can't vent. I'm not saying you can't vent. I'm not saying that you can't speak your piece. I'm not saying that you can't be upset. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to be upset, whether you're in the wrong or not. But do not take it to the internet. That is no, don't do that. So the question I want to ask you, if anybody who's going through this, is your goal to heal or is it to just prove a point? Because if you're going to try to prove a point, you're going to be the one at the end of the day wishing that the breakup never ended. Wishing that the relationship never ended. Because you're going to hate the fact that you tried so hard to prove that you were wrong, I did. And then it's going to come back to you and bite you in your ass for you to say, you know what? Yeah, I was wrong for this. Yeah, I was wrong for that. But damn, I still miss him. Damn, I still miss her. But the relationship is already done. So, number 2, boundaries are the new relationship rules. Sorry. Your boundaries are now your survival tool. Emotional, physical, and communication boundaries have to be set in place. If you both have come to the agreement, right, and you both have said, okay, we're no longer together, but here we are, we have a house together. And the economy is too fucked up right now. And for you to pay your own rent, for me to pay this mortgage, we still have, let's say I have kids, right? We have these kids together. How are we going to do this? At least for the next how many years? This is where you put your emotions to the side. You come together and y'all say, this is what it is. We both agreed the relationship is over. It is done. Now, how do we coexist without there being any problems? And understanding there is no talking about the past, talking about what could have been, talking about, oh, well, why don't we try again? If we've come to the decision that it is what it is and we're done, there's no reason why we're revisiting anything that we tried already. Let it go. But this is why I also say I rather, and I know the economy is so hard, but I think it's best that when you do separate, you give at least like 6 months or so. If you can, give 6 months, 6 to 8 months to where you let that person find, get the money together to move out. Because living together, it's difficult. Like having to see this person constantly, knowing that the relationship is over, it is hard. It really is hard. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not, because it is. The physical boundaries, there's no touching. There's no hugs. There's no, we're going to try. There's no sleeping in the same bed. There is no sex. There's none of that. No kissing. None of that. The physical boundaries have ended. You don't do that. The communication boundaries. What do you need from me at this moment until we figure this out of where we're going to go? How do you need me to make this transition in our relationship easier until I'm either on my feet out the door or you're on your feet out the door? Don't be shy about what it is that you need from this person. Because the worst thing to do is to live with somebody who you cannot stand. And there's no way out. Like, granted, okay, yeah, you can go to your mother's house. You can probably go to your father's house. You go to this one's house. You go to that one's house. But at the end of the day, all of your things are right there. Everything is right there. So you're bound to come back. And everybody wants to just come back to their own house. They don't want to just start couch surfing, and nobody want to do that. So speaking clearly about what it is y'all need on all aspects, emotionally, physically, and when it comes to communication, is a must. So just for those of you who don't understand what I mean when it says about the communication boundaries, because I know some people probably be like, but what is that? Just having conversation with each other. So keeping the conversations respectful. Just stay respectful with each other. Don't get disrespectful. Don't start calling each other out their names. Don't start, you a bitch, you this, you that. No, none of that. Keep it cute. No late night emotional dumping. No liquor talk, liquor influence. None of that. Leave the liquor conversations alone. Don't touch it. And avoid discussing the new dating lives immediately right after the breakup. Like, who are you seeing? are you bringing this person around my child? Or first of all, after a breakup, if you're going to date somebody, date them, cool. You don't have to announce it to the new person, and you damn sure shouldn't have to have your children around them. Absolutely the fuck not. That to me is a boundary that you know. This is a new person. You don't know how this person really is. You just got out of a situation. You're still living with this person. There's no reason why you are showing or letting your child be around this new person who you're talking to. Keep it cute, and do not have this person in your house when you know you and your ex are still living together. You're asking for a death wish. You might as well choose your own flowers for your funeral at this point, because why would you do that? No. Do not be disrespectful. You may not be together no more. Y'all may be separated. It may just be a coexisting roommate type of situation, but do not be disrespectful. So number 3 is like the hardest part. Healing while still seeing them. And when you're seeing someone you love every day, who you've grown to love so much, it reopens old wounds. And this is why I said, like, when I mentioned the conflict that's going to happen, the back and forth, the crying, the yelling. I wish you never did that. Why did you have to do that? Why did you hurt me? Why couldn't you just do this? Why couldn't you just do that? I wanted this relationship to work. The whole thing. It's hard. And sometimes people often confuse healing with avoidance. And the emotional triggers, they're very normal. It's okay for you to feel that way. It's okay for you to wish that it would have worked out. Because again, this is somebody who you thought all this was going, like, this was your person. You don't just move in with nobody or just anybody. You move in with somebody who you see your life going into marriage, if y'all not married yet, but y'all taking it to marriage, or somebody who you actually married and now y'all are living together. Divorce was never on the table. Y'all didn't see a breakup coming. But again, for whatever reason, life took y'all in two different directions. And even after you've tried to fix it, there was no way to fix it. There was no coming back from whatever problems. You see it one way, this person sees it another way. And there's no, what's the word I want to say? I can't think of the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. There's no joint understanding. There's no compromise. There you go. The word came to me. There's no compromising. You're stuck in your ways. You're stuck in your ways. And that can lead to a lot of breakups financially. A lot of people break up because of finances. Spending money profusely. Just because they got it, they want to spend it. Having gambling problems or having a drinking problem. It's a number of things that can cause somebody to break up. Not just cheating. It's a number of things. The mental, emotional abuse. They may not physically hit you, but they mentally talk down. They mentally fuck with your head. They talk down on you multiple times. They make you feel like you're not enough because they're unhappy with themselves, so they project it onto you. Or they feel stuck with where they're at, and they're mad that you're making the stride to get yourself into the better position, but they can't. So they're going to start talking to you all types of crazy. Again, it's numerous things that can cause you guys to break up. But having to stay in a household after you guys have chosen to say, you know what, this is it, it's hard. So try to create a healing practice. Personal time away from the house. I know during that time for me, I went by the Brooklyn Bridge and I stayed by the water. Whether it was at night, whether it was during sunset, whether it was just in the afternoon. I went by the Brooklyn Bridge and I just sat there for hours listening to music, journaling, which is another one that you could do, or just sitting in silence and just being by the water. For other people, it could be the gym. It could be hiking. It could be being with nature. It could be just going on a car ride. I don't know if you want to do that now because gas is too fucking expensive, so let's not do that. It could be anything outside of the house that just gets you into a better emotional state than it would be than you just sitting in the house. Journaling, like I said, is another way to get past it, to heal from it. Therapy, or just having a trusted conversation, because not everybody wants to go to therapy, not everybody can afford therapy, but having a trusted conversation with somebody who you admire, that gives you real conversation, that gives you real talk, that will tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. That is also someone you can talk to. And also just building a routine that doesn't revolve around your relationship anymore. That, I think, had become the hardest part, because a lot of the times when we get into relationships, and I think everyone does this, we tend to alter our routine. So let's say like your routine is you wake up in the morning, you stretch, you journal, you talk to God, you eat breakfast, you take a shower, you hit the gym, you come back, you start cleaning up, you do like whatever it is that you do during that time. And then you may go shopping, you may do this, you may cook dinner, boom, you're back in bed by a certain time. Now you're in this relationship, now things are different. You're not waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning anymore. Maybe you're waking up a little bit later at 9. You talk to God for maybe 15 seconds and then you go and make some breakfast for the both of you. Life, it shifts because now you have your attention on someone else, which is normal, but now you're trying to bring yourself back into your own routine. And I think also when I say this too, I take pride now, even in my relationship, where I still continue to do my routine. I fell off a little bit for the gym. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Me and the gym got like an up and down relationship, but I've been better lately. But just adding my own routine to my relationship, that I can still make space for both, but I can't lose my routine anymore, because doing that back then didn't do me any good, because I had to find it all over again. So remembering to hold on to that pattern that you had of whatever your day consisted of. And the last thing, simply knowing when coexisting is no longer healthy. When you know that it is time for you to get the heck up out of there, that you have been there for too long, that it's getting too heavy in that house, it's like a dark cloud is over there. When you start to feel like, and I think this is why my ex decided that it was time for him to just man up and get his own spot. Because coming home, first of all, we were missing each other coming home. I think I may have seen him 2 or 3 times. But the times that we were seeing each other, like to the times that we were arguing, those 3-4 times, that was in the beginning. That was when we were trying to work it out. And then after a while, we were missing each other. I would go to work and then go to the gym. I come back, he's not here. And it was kind of like vice versa type of thing. You know what I mean? So it was that. But then I think he also realized that it was time for him to get up and go when it became exhausting to come into the house, where it no longer felt peaceful to go into the house. It's like, you ever felt like an anxiety weighing on you when you get into a room, whether it's like, it could be any room. It could be work. It could be your like a block that like your old childhood block. It could be anything. Just your house, going into a car, going down this street, going into that store, whatever it is. You have that anxiety, that feeling like, oh my God, like that dread. Like, I really don't want to be there. He noticed that, and I also noticed it, and then that's when he decided to leave. But that's also when our arguments had gotten worse prior to him leaving. So, signs that it's time for you to head out or for that person to head out. Like I said, the constant arguments, the emotional manipulation, the jealousy over the new relationship that you're in or that you may be in, starting to get into, feeling stuck. Like I said, the little dark cloud that you're going to have over the place, over your house. That's when it's time to get out. The jealousy over new relationships, it depends on how long you guys have been separated. Some people jump right into a new one. Some people just start dating right after. Some people don't do any of it and they just chill out. Or one person may do it and the other one doesn't. It's tricky. Everybody heals differently. Everybody moves on differently. I know for some women that when they're mentally gone, they go right ahead. They go start dating again. For other women, they need time to themselves and they need to just be by themselves. So that way they can understand and process everything. But that's the question that you have to ask yourself if you're going through this. So when is it the time to move out? When for you is it going to be like, you know what? Enough is enough. If you're not going to move out, I'm going to move out because I need it for my own sanity and I need it for my own peace. When is it time to reduce communication? To where you guys no longer have to sit here and fake like everything is okay. Because it's not. Everything is not okay. But here you two are trying to figure this out. And when is it the right time, or when is it time to create strong distance? Because after a breakup, even after you guys go your separate ways and you guys leave the home, or you leave the home, the distance has to still be there. You can't keep calling and checking in on each other. You have to let it die out. You have to let it fizzle out. Now, unless you guys have kids, that's a whole different situation. I can't speak too much on it because I don't have children. But from a relationship standpoint, from someone who has been in it, you have to keep it cordial. And this is what I'm saying with people who have kids. You have to keep it about the children. If it has nothing to do with the kids, why are you talking to me? Oh, well, I was just thinking about when, me and you, why are we having this conversation? Why are you calling me reminiscing about, no. Respectfully, we're not going to do that. You have to draw the line in the sand. And I understand it because, again, in some situations, I don't have to be in it for me to understand it because I am an understanding person. I understand everybody's situation. Like, I think that's why so many people gravitate to me because I'm very empathetic to where I can understand all sides of the story. I get it. This is someone who you thought you were going to build a family with, get married to, or stay married to, and it all fell apart. I understand that completely, 110%. But just because it did not work out in this situation does not mean it's not going to work out with somebody else. Does not mean, oh my God, I got to start all over. Yeah. So the fuck what? Yes, you got to start all over. You want peace or you want sanity? You want peace or you want stress? You should want sanity. Do you want stress? Do you want high cholesterol levels? Do you want to put yourself in a stroke? Do you want to be angry all the time? You shouldn't want to be angry all the time. And that's for men and women. You should not want to be mad or having to come into a house where you feel like, oh, here we go again with the arguing, or here we go again with the nitpicking, or here we go again with the this and then that. No. It's not to say that arguments are not going to happen. They are. Disagreements are going to happen. They are. But if it's an every day, every other day type of situation, baby, we either going to go get this fixed or somebody getting the fuck up out of here, because we not doing this. No. There is too much going on in this world for us to be coming back to the place that God blessed us with, a home, a roof over our head. Hallelujah. Amen. The roof over our head, for us to be stressed out and coming home to stress. Your house is your safe space. Your house is your peace, not stressed. So if that's the situation, you have to start asking yourself, when is it time for me to get up out of here? What is my exit plan? How long am I going to stay here until I say enough is enough? Closure doesn't always come with conversation. Sometimes closure just comes with space. You don't always have to know why. And I had to learn that, and I had to understand that not every ending is going to have a why. It just has to end. So you know what time it is. Remedy homework. Yes, I'm giving y'all remedy homework. You're going to write down 3 boundaries you would need if you had to coexist with your ex. If the relationship that you are currently in, matter of fact, I don't even put that in the atmosphere, because that's bad juju. Let me not do that. Just answer the question. Write down 3 boundaries you would need if you had to coexist with an ex. If rent was too goddamn high, if the mortgage was, buying a whole new house was just not in the cards right now, what are the 3 boundaries that you would need to stay in a household with your ex? The next question, or questions, it's all together, is you're going to ask yourself, am I still emotionally attached to them? Am I trying to stay close out of comfort? And am I delaying my own healing by holding on to them? So that's your remedy homework. I want to know what you guys think. Make sure you guys comment underneath the episode. I hope you guys have a great, great week ahead. The spring is coming. I feel it in the air. We were just in the 70s and now it's cold as shit. But it's okay. I'll take the cold. I don't want no snow. My cousins live in Wisconsin and they just got snow. Baby, don't bring that over here. Keep that over there. I don't want to see no more snow until December. I really don't. This was a rough winter. A rough one. So, yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan for winning that Oscar. Shout out to Sinners. Shout out to Ryan for winning. Shout out to, I forgot the girl's name, who won cinematographer. The Oscars were so good last night. I watched the Oscars. That's what I meant to say too. They were so good. I'm so glad that Sinners won. Sinners won 6, I think, right? They won 6 out of the 16 or 4 out of the 16. I'm just so glad that Ryan, but I'm pissed though that they didn't win Best Picture, because they were going to do that. They weren't going to have Sinners win everything. Bunch of assholes. Never mind. But congratulations to everybody in the Sinners. That was great. I loved that movie. I watched that movie like 3 times. I ain't gonna hold you. But again, I hope you guys have a great week. Leave whatever happened into today. Don't bring that shit into tomorrow. I love you guys for listening. I'll see y'all.